I always do dumb stuff. I knew better. Hello and welcome back to Hardworking Man. Today, I got a question for you guys. How much wood do you think is in this trailer? Let me show you what it is, and put your guess down in the comments. How many cord, or like a cord and a third, cord and a half a cord, whatever you think, put in the comments and let me know. I'll tell you the measurement, show you the logs, then we'll get them dumped and cut up, and we're gonna figure this out. There it is. It's my N&N HD dump trailer. It's 7 feet wide, 16 feet long, and those metal sides are 23 inches, so 2 foot. And I've got it full of ash logs. This is gonna be ready to go campfire wood, which we need. So this first layer here is all flat, and then the front layer, I had to angle down on top of it. So next time I do this, I'll probably cut a block off each log so I can get 2 full level rows in. But let me know in the comments, how many cord do you think this is? We're gonna get it bucked up, and we're gonna get it split, we'll get it stacked so we know the answer. You guys can follow along through the process here. I'm gonna dump it now and then get ready with the Echo and get to cutting. Now this right here is exactly one of the reasons I bought this trailer. I had a 6x12 N&N Inno Series trailer. That's a 10,000 pound trailer. This one's 14. That one's 6 foot wide, obviously, 6x12. This is 7x14. So I put my tractor in here. It's a Coyote NS6010. I got the Easton made FG60 firewood grapple on the front, and then I have a Ram splitter 3-point log grapple on the back. I can load it in this trailer, drive up to the property or wherever I'm going, unload it, fill the trailer with logs, get to where I'm going, which is now home, dump the logs, and I didn't have to make an extra trip to get the tractor there. And I didn't have to unload logs off a flatbed equipment trailer because my tractor's left on site. That is why I went bigger. So if you're out there and you're trailer shopping and you're thinking, what do I do? Should I get a smaller dump trailer and an equipment trailer, just an equipment trailer, just a dump trailer? If you can only do one, I recommend the big dump trailer for the reason I just stated. And if you're gonna get a dump trailer or any trailer, especially dump trailers, I highly recommend these N&N galvanized trailers. I get mine from Thumb Trailer in Sandusky, Michigan. Do it right or do it twice. These things last forever. I've seen 5, 6-year-old painted dump trailers completely rusted out here in Michigan. You pay a little bit more, but in the end, it's a much, much better investment. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. All right, here's a cold start on the Echo 7310. These saws start great. It's gonna go pull, pull, pop, choke off, pull, pull, start, almost every single time. Let's see if I'm right. Every time. So today's plan is to get this all bucked up. We'll split it in a later video. I did something to that Echo saw that I think is gonna make it faster. I'll tell you what that is later in this video as well. That saw absolutely rips. It's a complete monster, and we're about to tear into this ash. Rachel's just making fun of me. She's like, every time you run that saw, you say it rips. Because I love it. When I get something I like, I tell you guys about it, and Hornet saws are one of them, and this Echo is definitely one of them. Now when I cut, I used to push. I'm learning now, let the saw do the work. It's so much easier. A nice aggressive chain, a nice powerful ported saw. You can, look at this. also curious, how many tanks of fuel, well, not tanks, do you think I'll cut this whole pile on one tank? I've never really, I guess, figured out how much wood per tank you get out of this saw. Full, baby. Rachel says she hates this because she's covered in sawdust because this thing just throws chips.
Trying to get the good angles, and this is what happens. It's all where it should be.
I'll clean you up later. trick from TKP there, Timber Cutter Patriot, so you don't pinch your bar. You go in and out a little bit, and it cuts a new channel every time so you don't pinch your saw. I've never tried it before, but it seemed to work pretty good there. One of the biggest problems cutting with a saw that's this fast, you need someone to clear all these rounds out of here.
Hey, just noticed XYZ.
Surprised it took you that long to notice. She's usually staring in that direction. Can't blame her, really. Cutting with a sharp chain, a properly tuned ported saw, it's just easier than pushing on that saw like I used to try to get the performance. A little bit more speed and less torque, even though this has plenty of both. Ah! That is why I usually don't cut on log piles. I usually do my stuff sort of more separated. We're cutting ash here too. This isn't some pine or some spruce I think Bodie just got from, it used to be Novice Lumberjack, now it's Empire Workshop. He wanted to get some softwood to make his saws look better. I don't need softwood. This thing rips in hardwood, Bodie. Take lessons. I'll teach you a few things next time we meet up. Hit any of my fresh stone I got down here. Just smoke some rock. God dang it. Well, I guess we're gonna torture test the Sugihara chain. can definitely tell a difference. It's still cutting good, but not as good as it was. I always do dumb stuff. I knew better. I mean, it's still cutting, but John from frickin' Jeep, what's he always say? It costs to be stupid. Right there, it just costs. It's gonna cost me a little bit of time. You guys should see the look on Rachel's face right now. I think I just completely sawdusted her. All right, one thing I love about having a fast saw, fast splitters, all that stuff is when you're editing videos, you don't have to speed it up. You see that a lot, but I think this is fast enough to stay entertaining and just be regular speed. Now, a lot of people ask me, and I haven't used this for a while, why do you touch the tip of each log with your chainsaw? I got a Firewood Pro Sizer on there. It's a laser. It's good in some situations like this. As you see, I'm just flying through this wood, and it's pretty accurate. There's my Gramp stick. I mean, every piece, I'm fussy about my firewood. I want it all within a nice little tight range. So I set that up to match the Gramp stick, which I do at 15 inches. So if I'm a little long, I'm 16. If I'm a little short, I'm about 15. So 15, 14 and a half or whatever. So people would rather have the wood a little bit shorter than a little bit longer if they're burning in a smokeless fire pit or something like that. And I've never had a complaint for having too short of wood. So a little bit shorter is probably a little better. And you'll see out of these logs, it leaves me with a little chunk. That's fine. That's our outdoor boiler wood. So I'm gonna get some of this cleared out of here. The logs that are on the ground, I'm gonna tip up on a timber jack. I have a wood chuck and I have a log ox. I'll get them off the ground so I don't hit any more of this stone. I need to get a nice pile of wood chips or sawdust down so I can cut and not get into stuff that's gonna damage the saw blade. This is fun, but I am pouring sweat because it decided to turn into summer here in Michigan.
He's sweaty, always.
Yeah, I'm a sweaty man. Oh, I didn't know you were recording me. I'm breathing heavy.
I just started. I wanted to put on the record, hardworking man's doing the work this time.
I think this is hickory here. We get a stick or two of other stuff in this load. It's all from that ash truck I bought. I do work.
Well, everyone says I do all the work, so this time I'm not.
You look better doing the work. That's some nice bundle grate.
Ah! Warn a girl to get out of the way.
I ain't throwing it at you. All right, so instead of going straight to the timber jacks, I started just flipping these logs. Oh, Rachel just said, watch my son. I almost crushed it. Back up onto the log pile. So I have more of a buffer and can work a little higher than the timber jacks, and I think it's gonna work pretty good.
Huh.
There we go. Couple little chunks, one more block each. When it's warm, you just tug on it and it goes. In a log pile, what you just saw, when that tip hits, the saw will come back. So the only time I really let go or sort of relax is when I know the tip is clear. If I know that tip could hit something, I got a good grip on this saw. Like here, I'll hold this thing when I'm cutting. Right there, at the end when it catches. You don't want to get bit by one of these suckers. Ah, or trip while you're holding it. Come on. I might have to let Rachel stack this stuff. I'm gonna be too sweaty. I might have to jump in the pond when this is over.
You said you haven't been working that long. What are you talking about?
I'm working hard. I'm a hard-working man.
Oh.
And I'm a sweaty man. I'm tasting my own sweat right now.
Sun is setting. It's so beautiful.
I don't know what this is. There it is, 1 tank of gas. And we wiped out most of this pile. I don't know if we should stack it now to see what I get with a tank. We'll do that. We won't make you guys watch. We're gonna get what we have stacked up, see what we got with 1 tank, then we'll finish bucking. All right, so 1 tank of gas through the Echo 7310, ported, running, just cutting. That thing cuts like crazy. We're close to a cord. We got about 1 1/3. Well, what do we? This is 8 foot by 3 foot, and there's 2 stacks, a little over 3 foot. So this is 1/3 of a cord and about a half. And over there we got just about 1/3 of a cord of bundle grade wood, and then all the end cuts will add up. I'm not gonna obviously stack those and measure them. So we're a little under a full cord cut with 1 tank of gas. We got maybe I don't know if we got 1/3 of a cord left there. So we're gonna be about 1 1/4, I think, at the end. We'll get a better measurement when we're done, but we're flying through this wood. And thank God for summer, because it's 9 o'clock and we're still out here working. In the fall, 4:30, you got to wrap up shop, except for now with our new pavilion and the lights, we're going to be able to work into the night, and Rachel is super happy.
Thrilled. Show me.
Rachel is quite dirty.
He says, just come out and film me. It's going to be real quick. I just got to buck up some logs. It's going to be a super quick video. Just come on out. This is what's happened to me. And it's 9 p.m. and I haven't been fed dinner yet.
Me either. And I did blow her off with the hydrant already, which she loved.
One time. Oh, it was really great. It got all the, I don't like the feeling of all this on my bare skin. But.
All right, enough talk. Let's cut.
From a man who doesn't stop talking.
Gotta let her warm back up. It took us a minute to stack all that wood. Chips so hard you can like feel it.
Yeah, I know.
put my leg up there. There we go. That one was a bit big to pick up. I mean, I'm strong, but Rachel didn't want me to hurt my back, so. I keep feeling like it's raining. I think it's my sweat.
Or the mosquitoes.
That's why you wear protective pants. I did not hit my leg, but that's the closest I've personally ever come. Woo!
What happened?
The tip just caught. I wasn't being careful. Getting overconfident and cocky.
Yeah.
When that piece cut off, it just kicked down. When it fell, it pinched back into the log and hit that tip and kicked it back. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Man, the more sore my back gets because I'm not in cutting shape, the lower to the ground I have to get. I'm not too proud. I used to be, but I'm not too proud to say, you know what? I'm tired. It's getting dark. This footage is going to be grainy. I'm going to save the rest of these and we'll finish it up tomorrow. Normally, in the past, I would have just done it anyways, but I made a stupid mistake. I can feel I'm getting tired. I already worked a full day today, got a couple hours of sleep, maybe 2, because I had to go to the VA for an appointment. And when you're tired running a chainsaw, it's not a good combo. So we'll pick this up tomorrow, finish it up, get it stacked, measured, and I'll tell you what I did to the saw to make it cut even better than it was. At least I think it is, and we'll test it later. All right, guys, we're back. I had to wait till a little later in the day because this heat, man, we're supposed to be into the over 100-degree heat index next week. And if you saw my short, me and Heat just don't get along, but I'm gonna finish this pile real quick, show you what we got, and show you a $10 change that I did to that saw that I think's making it cut faster, but we'll explore that more in a future episode. Man, this saw is sick. With these 8-foot logs and this size, just keeping repiling them on top of each other is easier to cut than having to use a timber jack or something. But then when I'm down to my last two, and one of these is pretty good size, I'll have to switch to that. But I like just rolling them back on top of each other. Cutting without putting pressure is so much easier on the body too. Touch this saw up again, and that's a sharp saw. All right, so what did I do to make that saw cut what I believe is faster? It's something I'm trying out and I'm gonna test more, but I changed the rim sprocket on it, or the chain sprocket. I went from a 7-pin to an 8-pin. Now, would I recommend that for everyone? Absolutely not. I've seen YouTube videos where it doesn't make it faster because the saw needs enough power, enough torque to run it. So it's gonna depend on your chain, on your saw, ported, not ported, CCs, what kind of wood you're cutting. I mean, this is ash hardwood. Most of it's right around probably 12 to 14 inches, and that saw has the torque to do it. So that's why I think it's faster. If that saw wasn't ported, I'd probably stick with the 7-pin. And I am curious to see if it's all in my head or if that saw is gonna run quicker with that 8-pin in 20-inch bar, you know, not huge wood. If I was gonna be cutting bigger wood, I would go to a 24-inch bar and back to the 7-pin. But I'm just planning on experimenting with a lot of this stuff. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you in an upcoming video, because I didn't know this. I didn't know you could change it. I'm learning and bringing you guys along with me. I didn't grow up with a family of log cutters, wood cutters. I've taught myself what I know, mostly through YouTube and through others. And that's why I try to share the good, the bad, the ugly, my mistakes, when I almost cut my leg. You know, it's all part of it. And if I can help someone learn from me being an idiot, then it takes a little bit of sting out of me doing something stupid. So now the question we asked at the beginning of this video, how much wood was in that trailer? This stack is 12 feet by 4 feet. So this is a nice heavy 2/3 of a cord. More than that, you know, it tapers down, but it's fairly square. So I would say a little over 2/3 of a cord. I've got all the chunks back here for the boiler. Now let's go see how much bundle bag wood we got. Now I've got this measured out at exactly 8 feet. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a solid 2/3 of a cord here, which will put us at over 1 1/4, not quite 1 1/4, I would say, for that trailer load. Which I thought, you know, after last night with just those few logs left, I thought I was gonna be shorter than I originally expected. But I think we're gonna get there. I just sold a load of logs like that. And I know the guy, it was a friend. I figured it at 1 1/4 to 1 1/2. And so for him, I think it might have been just a bit lighter than that trailer load just because how the logs go in there. So I'm gonna call it 1 1/4 of logs for him. This DR trailer, a lot of people ask about it. I'll do a full review on it here coming up. I bought it used off Marketplace, and just recently doing all our landscaping, hooked up the dump winch or the log loading winch, and that thing's slick, way slicker than I thought it would be. All right, well, I was wrong again. I thought this was gonna be a solid 2/3 of a cord, and we're a little bit under. I would say probably a log and a half, so not bad. Overall, I would say the correct answer for that load was a full cord and 1/3 of a cord, and that's being gracious. I got a little more than that, to be honest, but I always like to give more than less. So we're gonna say 1 1/4 for that log load. I think if I cut 1 block off each 8-foot log before I load them and can get them all flat, I could probably get closer to 2 cord in there. I'll try that in an upcoming video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.